When I first saw the Reolink OMVI range of cameras in 2025, I couldn't wait for their official launch and the chance to get one on the channel for review. The OMVI 3i camera represents a new direction for Reolink, combining 3 lenses, a total of 18 megapixels, and features that set it apart from anything else currently in their lineup. I've been testing the OMVI 3i for the last few weeks to find out whether it lives up to the hype, and during that time I've discovered one feature that genuinely surprised me. In this video, I'll take you through everything the OMVI 3i has to offer, share my real-world usage, and show you that feature that I think could be a game changer for this camera. Hey everyone, my name's Simon and welcome to Byte of Geek, a channel that's all about home assistant and smart home technology. So a big thank you to Reolink for sending me out their OMVI 3i camera to test and review on the channel. As always, they've had no editorial input into this video and you'll get my honest thoughts and opinions about it. Inside the box then, and you get your accessories pack with things like your mounting template, warning stickers and instructions. You get the camera itself, you have your bag of fixings, and because this is the PoE version of the camera, you get a weatherproof connection and a small Ethernet cable. So first impressions are, this is an absolute beast of a camera. It's well built, and I think Reolink have done well with the design of this type of camera. Looking at the camera from the front then, and as you can see, we have 2 lenses on the upper section of the camera body, along with 6 spotlights. Under that, we then have the PTZ camera with 2 more spotlights. The camera body can be rotated manually 90 degrees in either direction, and the dual lenses can be tilted up or down by 20 degrees. This flexibility means you should be able to mount this even in slightly awkward locations and then position the lenses for the best possible view. We also have the microphone and status LED on the front, and just on the underside here we have the speaker as well. On the back of the camera body is the micro SD card slot and the reset button, and these are hidden away behind a little rubber cover. We've then got the camera mount, and you just fix the mounting plate to your surface and then slide the camera onto that and tighten up the screws on the side. With this being the PoE version of the camera, you have some fixed wiring that comes out of the back, and the cable has both an RJ45 connection and a barrel connection if you want to power it that way instead. As for specification then, well, the OMVI 3i is quite impressive and there's a lot to take in here. The camera comes in 2 versions, the PoE one I have here and a Wi-Fi version, and for the most part they're pretty much identical. From what I can tell, the PoE version has a slightly better default bitrate for the footage versus the Wi-Fi model, which is what you'd expect given the PoE version has the more stable connection type, and it's also slightly heavier as well, but really other than that they seem to be the same. In terms of the cameras then, the OMVI 3i is effectively split into 2 halves. In the upper half of the body, it has dual 5 megapixel lenses with a focal length of 2.8mm and an aperture of 1.6. With this, you get a combined panoramic resolution of 5120 by 1920, which is effectively 10 megapixels. And this is at 20 frames per second with a field of view of 180 degrees horizontal and 65 degrees vertical. Underneath that is the PTZ camera, and this has a 4K 8 megapixel lens, so a resolution of 3840 by 2160 with a focal length of 6mm and 1.6 for the aperture, and this has a field of view of 55 degrees horizontal and 30 degrees vertical. These cameras combined then give you your 18 megapixel security camera. Elsewhere, it has colour night vision and infrared night vision up to 100 feet, and it has spotlights on both the upper and lower cameras, making it very bright when they're all switched on. The camera also has auto tracking functionality to keep the detected subject in the frame whilst movement is being detected, and it's got two-way audio, it's IP66 rated, and it's got local storage via a micro SD card up to 512 gigabytes. It also features a whole host of smart AI detection features, and we'll come to that in just a moment. Setting up the camera was very easy. I've already got the Reolink app installed on my phone, and because this is the PoE version of the camera, then once I connected the Ethernet cable to it, it was immediately detected in the app, and then it was just a case of finishing off the rest of the setup procedure, and then it's ready to be installed outside. In the Reolink mobile app, you have lots of functionality to configure your camera as required, including some new settings that I've not previously seen. You've got your usual settings to configure the image details, so things like brightness, what information is overlaid on the image. You can have bounding boxes showing around objects that the camera has detected, day and night time settings, and you can define a privacy area if you don't want to be recording your neighbor's property. You also have your audio and lighting settings, including turning off the status light, and you've got lots of detection settings, which I'll come to in just a moment. You then have sync track, and this allows you to set up how the PTZ camera works alongside the upper panoramic camera, so how it keeps tracking an object or person and ensuring that they're kept in the frame whilst they're being detected. You've also got RTSP support, so those of you that have been looking for a camera of this quality that you can hook up to your own NAS, well, this is now an option. If you're using something like Home Assistant, and I would imagine plenty of you watching this probably are, then the Platinum level Reolink integration detects the camera immediately and gives you access to a whole raft of sensors and controls for your camera, enabling you to build up some impressive automations as well as the ability to add live footage to your dashboards, all so very easily. I think pretty much everything you can do in the app, you can also do in Home Assistant as well, including the ability to control the PTZ camera. And if you're using Google Home, then the OMVI 3i will support that as well. The OMVI 3i features smart AI detection, including people, animals and vehicles, all of which can have their sensitivity fine-tuned, as well as adjusting for size of object as well. You also have a couple of new features that I've not seen before on Reolink cameras, and they are forgotten object and object removal. Now, the examples in the app do kind of suggest that you might use it for tracking parcel deliveries, but you could use this for anything of value in the sight of the camera. If this wasn't enough, we also have line crossing, zone intrusion and zone loitering alerts, which are super useful for effectively setting up guard areas around your property to warn people if they try to enter an area you don't want them to. Now, when I test any cameras on the channel, I go through the same types of tests so that when you're comparing one from another, you can see the difference in how they are performing. To start with, I have my eye chart test, and this involves me walking towards the camera with an A4 sheet of paper with an eye chart test printed on it. Where I start from is approximately 20 feet away from the camera, so that you can get an idea of what the quality of the footage is like at that distance. Starting with the footage from the dual 5 megapixel lens part of the camera then, and there's two clips of footage to show you here, and that's because the upper lenses can be rotated. So the first clip is with the lenses in their default position facing forwards, just so you can see how wide that footage is from the camera. As you can see, the footage is very clear and it's able to capture the whole length of my house and the garden as well, just from that one position, which is really impressive. And certainly with coverage like that, I'm not sure you need any other camera in that location when you've got this one installed. Next, and I've now rotated the upper lenses to point towards my starting position, and again, nice crisp and clear footage, slightly better image cropping as you would expect with it now facing me. As I get closer to the camera itself, You can see one of the traits of dual lens cameras, and that is, depending on the direction of approach, you get this join in the footage. The Reolink app does have settings that you can adjust to help with this, but I generally don't find it to be a problem. If we look at a clip from the PTZ camera now, and this really impressed me with the quality of the footage, albeit more zoomed in. When you look at the clarity of the eye chart that I'm holding, I think that's probably the best I've seen so far. I've got some nighttime footage now, and just to be clear, this was recorded at about 20 past 10 at night, so not totally dark, but still dark enough for this test. And we're starting with footage from the dual lenses, and as you can see, the black and white is nice and sharp, and you can easily make out my face from the recording. But it's the colour footage which is really impressive, with the LEDs really lighting up the area and very good colour accuracy overall. Now, looking at the footage from the PTZ camera, and that gives you equally sharp black and white footage, but with all the LEDs now on, then it is very bright indeed. You'll also notice that there's slight ghosting from that camera whilst it moves around, which disappears when the image is stable, something that's common in low light conditions. Finally, for the nighttime footage, and just for reference really, this is what my mobile phone camera sees in those light levels, and it shows how well those LEDs light up the area when they're all switched on. Now onto the notification testing, and with a PoE camera, I'd expect these to be quick to come through. Historically, Reolink cameras have been very good in this area, so if we start with me appearing out from behind the end of the house, and as you can see, the camera has picked me up before I've even got past the corner of the house, and I'm at about 12 feet away at this point. Next, and I'm walking out from behind the shed, and again it's picked me up very quickly. I'm about 16 feet away when it's detected and notified me on my mobile phone. Even when I try moving quite a bit quicker, the camera still picks me up and a notification comes through before I've even reached the camera. Now, one of the really important features of the OMVI 3i is its object tracking and its ability to keep a subject in the frame whilst it's moving in view of the camera. In this footage, I'm hidden in the garden and I've noticed the camera has spotted me, and when I come out of hiding, it then keeps tracking me until I've gone behind the shed. When I re-emerge, then it picks me up again and tracks me all the way to the rear of the house, all whilst keeping me in clear focus and in the frame of the recording. I even tried putting the hood up to see if that might cause it any issues, but as you can see, it works just as well regardless, keeping me tracked until I've disappeared again. With the OMVI 3i camera, there are some nice features in the app when it comes to monitoring around your property, and one of those is that you can click on a point in the wide angle footage from the camera and have the PTZ camera then rotate to that point. This is really useful if you want to get a better view of an area, or maybe even let someone know that the camera knows that they are there. If you're going to want to monitor different locations with a single camera like this, then it's essential that you can have monitoring points that you can set up. And as you can see in this footage, I've just set up a few, and via the app I can easily select which one the camera is to focus on before it then returns to its home position. Now, as I was finishing up my testing of the OMVI 3i, I noticed something in the app that I'd not seen before, and it's something I've been banging on about in my camera reviews for quite a while, and that is patrol mode. Yes, the OMVI 3i does in fact have patrol mode, and you can see here in the app, you just define your monitoring locations, and then in patrol mode, you select which one of those will be monitored. Patrol mode can be set up on a schedule, and if it stops at a patrol point and it detects an object, then you can have it switch to tracking that as well. You can also edit the amount of time it spends at locations and the speed that it travels between them, but as you can see here in the footage, it works really well. So what do I think of the Reolink OMVI 3i then? Well, it's hard not to like the package that's on offer here. The quality of the footage is fantastic, especially in daylight, and you've got an excellent super wide view from the 10 megapixel camera coupled with the 8 megapixel PTZ camera for enhanced detail, which together gives you something that's perfect for your home or small business premises. The tracking from the PTZ camera works very well, putting a subject into focus and framing them in the footage automatically. And with the addition of patrol mode, the monitoring functionality and the area zoning, these features could genuinely remove the need to have multiple cameras covering your property. If local control is important to you, then this camera delivers. Not only do you have the excellent Home Assistant integration, but your storage needs are met either via the 512GB micro SD card slot or the multitude of connectivity options to store your footage directly to your own local NAS. My only grumble with the OMVI 3i is the fact that the PTZ camera doesn't point completely downwards, which may be an issue for you depending on where you intend to install it. Other than that though, this is a very solid camera and gives you an awful lot for the asking price. If you want to pick up the Reolink OMVI 3i, then it's available now for £249.99, although Reolink do have an introductory offer on this right now, bringing it down to £199.99. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description below, along with a discount code that Reolink have given me for my channel viewers. Alternatively, you can just scan the QR code showing on the screen here if you prefer to do that. If you found this video helpful, then I'd appreciate a thumbs up, and why not subscribe to the channel for more smart home content like this. But as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.